Alright guys, I borrowed this from two old instructors and I kind of made it my own, but in essence it's still the same thing, mushroom drawings, right? Sorry, marshmallow drawings. What you guys are going to need is 2 half sheets of paper, which you guys have right in front of you, a pencil, and 1 marshmallow. Now today's practice, like I said, when you guys come back on block schedule, we're going to do a 5 marshmallow drawing in between 4 of you guys. When you guys do that, you guys can talk, you guys can share information. If you guys keep it down to whisper, okay? I want you guys to learn from each other. Today, totally individual. You guys are focused on drawing your marshmallow, and that's it.
Just one?
Just one. I made that animation, so let's enjoy it bouncing.
Okay.
Composition. What is composition? Does anybody know when I say the word composition what we're talking about?
Yes.
Raise your hand, please. Alright, something from here. Okay, Julian. Okay, that's part of it. No small drawings is part of your composition. Composition means how you arrange it. For example, if you have a piece of paper, whether you put a big one here or a small one here, that's a dynamic composition, right? It shows a big one, shows a small one, very dynamic. If you show 3 in a row, very static, right? It's boring. Composition is how you lay things on the paper. And you guys are totally in charge of that. Apart from, you have to use 90% of your paper. Try to use as much of your paper as possible, always. If you guys do a very, very tiny marshmallow, it's a waste of the paper and it's a waste of your skills. If you guys always stick to that, you will never be able to work big. And that's a big fear that a lot of people have. It's a big fear that I had when I started drawing. It's working big. Right? Because you're scared. You're like, man, how am I going to take this small thing and make it huge? And it's not that hard. You guys did that with the animal silhouettes, right? And although some of you guys, I know, were scared to make them even a little bit bigger, you guys all did it. And for the most part, most of them look good. How much of your paper are you going to use?
90%.
Good. Step 1. First thing you're going to do is look at your marshmallow. I'm going to hand yours out later. For now, this is the marshmallow that we're looking at. Maybe. I don't know if you guys are quiet today. Look at your marshmallow. Notice the different values on the marshmallow. Is this marshmallow all the same value? No. What are we looking at? White. Okay, white. That's very important.
Shadow.
When we talk about white, what's another name for that? The white parts of anything.
Positive.
Something with the H.
F.
H. If you look at it, you have highlight values, middle values, and dark values, right? The dark ones we call shadows. All the ones in the middle we call middle tones. And the ones that are here on the left are called highlights, or white. Look at the marshmallow. What do you guys think the highlights are?
Black.
At the top. Blacks are shadows, right? The black part is shadows. I know you guys are smarter than that. Highlights are at the top and on the side, right here, right? On the curve. Highlights are where the light is hitting. Next part we talk about is mid-tones, or the tones in the middle. For the most part, most of your marshmallow is going to be mid-tones. Highlights is where the light is hitting, so you can use the white on the paper. And the dark part is, of course, what? The shadows. Go ahead and pull out your notes, please.
Right now?
Yes, right now.
Are you recording this for me?
Is that? You guys can see it on the way up.
This is batches. Batches. What is batches?
You guys have a paper where you guys took notes before, just keep adding to it. If you guys don't have that, you should pull out a new one.
Well, we did highlight with those shadows.
Is it done already? And for the most part, I think the ones that I'm covering are newer ones. Yes. What's that? Permission? Hold on. Alright guys, that was the time to take out notes. Move forward. We talked about highlights. We talked about midtones, right? We also talked about shadows, right? There's another thing that an object does when it's hit by light. Perfect. Some of you guys remember. If you guys remember from your cones, your cubes, your rectangles, reflected light is important. Now, in this one, it's a little tough to see. But if you look closely, Ramon, in this area, you can see the white reflected off of the table, right? Right there, that very small section. What is reflected light? Raise your hand. Do it. Reflected light has nothing to do with the shadow, believe it or not. Although, you know what? It kind of does have something to do with shadow. But it's reflected light, not reflected shadow. Perfect. Reflected off an object, right? Make sure you guys write this one down. Reflected light. It's not up there. Reflected light is light reflected off of an object onto another object. So if you guys look at this drawing, it's light coming down, hitting the white paper, and going back onto the marshmallow.
Reflected light is another reflected
light. Light that hits an object and then it goes onto another object. So got it?
Yeah.
Go, Julie. All this information I want you guys to apply to your drawing whenever the opportunity comes. Cast shadow is another important part. What I'm doing is breaking down what you guys are going to do in steps. The first thing you're going to do when you get your marshmallows, you're going to break down highlights, midtones, shadows. Once you finish with that, you focus on reflected light. Is there some light coming off of your white paper and hitting your marshmallow? Third thing that you're going to focus on, actually fifth or third thing, is the cast shadow. This is probably the most important part. If you don't do this part, it looks like your object is floating and it's not grounded. Especially if it's a marshmallow. Cast shadow is very important. You guys are probably going to have multiple cast shadows on your paper, and if you can, blot those in real quick. But those are very important. Those are telling you that they're on a piece of paper. They're telling you that the object is sitting on something. That's probably the third thing you guys are focusing on. These are some student examples of work that's been done before. You guys say it's hard, but the only reason you say that is because you guys haven't started on this. None of this is difficult whatsoever. You guys probably thought that about the animal silhouettes. You probably thought that about our upside down drawing, right? So you guys say, man, there's no way I can do these lines. A couple lines later, you're done. You finished the project and it came out good. It's not that difficult. Same thing, right? Here you notice the highlights that the students put. You notice the midtones, right? Most of the marshmallows are going to be midtones. And then you also notice the shadows, which are the darker parts. The only thing I didn't include on this is the cast shadow, but if you look here closely, you can see the cast shadow here, see the cast shadow here, right? It's reflecting, it's coming onto the paper. Very important. Try to see if you can notice the highlights, midtones, and shadows on this in your head. Very white parts are the highlights. Most of it, right? All the softer ones are the middle tones. And then you have your shadows on the marshmallows. Once again, what I didn't include is the cast shadow here. You have a cast shadow here on the paper, cast shadow here. Very important. Highlights, cast shadow, middle tones, shadow. And if you look at this is a really good example because if you look at the top, what is this marshmallow doing to this marshmallow?
It's on top.
It's on top
and it's what? Giving it a what type of shadow? A cast shadow. It's the shadow from this marshmallow onto this marshmallow. Now that's sharp. You can see that here. That adds even more depth. You can see the weight of this marshmallow on this marshmallow. That's good student work. These are your definitions. Form. We've hit on line. We've hit on what else?
Reflection.
What are our ABCs? We hit on line.
Shape.
Shape. Now we're doing
Value.
kind of, yeah, we do value a little bit.
Texture.
We are going to do texture and we are going to do form. Good job, you guys, you're hitting all of them. Line and shape are included because that's how you're going to begin your drawing. Value is the different values that you guys are laying down on the marshmallows. Form is the 3D aspect of a marshmallow, right? It's a cylinder, but it has value and tones added to it so that it makes it look three-dimensional. That's huge. The difference between shape and form is three-dimensionality. A shape is 2D, a form is three-dimensional. Got that? Tone. The overall color on the surface of an object. Here, for the most part, it's going to be gray, right? It's going to be a black and white drawing. Focus on grayscale. Ramon, where are your notes? Next one, shading. Shading is drawn where no light falls, right? So all the shadows. Do not smudge on your drawing. Do not get your thumb, get graphite, and smudge. No. You guys aren't going to do that with this assignment. Because that's a clutch. It's a quick technique. You guys learned, it is cheating. You guys, have you learned hatching, cross-hatching? Use it. Use it, whether it's very, very small, thin lines or thicker lines. But do not smudge. Do not smudge. It's going to hurt you. It's going to hurt you a lot.
What about this?
That's shading. You can shade. Just do not smudge. We can tell the difference between a pencil on its side and your thumb on your paper. Do not smudge. Cast shadow. Make sure you guys get this one. This one's important. Come on. Cast shadow. You could argue that the shading on the marshmallow and the cast shadow is what makes it look real. Right? It's an illusion. There's not a real marshmallow on a piece of paper. It's your drawing of the marshmallow. But you can do things that give it the illusion of it being three-dimensional or real. Texture. Somebody pulled it out. Somebody saw that. Marshmallows have texture. Very fine texture. And it's your job to try to achieve that. What do you think the other sheet of paper was for?
For leaving the marshmallow.
Perfect.
Are we gonna eat them?
Can we eat it?
For putting your marshmallow on there.
Are we gonna eat them?
Is that thing getting quiet or not?
If it disappears, take the whole bag.
I want you to be able to draw, Luis.
Draw?
Yeah.
I suck at drawing.
Hey, don't.
I can't even draw a bunny. Are they even real?
No.
Oh, they're fake? Can I get it?
Go ahead and place your marshmallow on your paper on how you're going to draw it. Make sure it's directly in front of you,
It
too.
has too many shadows. It has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It has too many shadows. How am I supposed to draw that? If I only draw one shadow.
Start with one of them. Start with the most important. What do you guys think will happen if you put the marshmallow after you draw? Your shadows will change, right? your lighting will change.
Are you guys
Keep it in only one position.
So we start drawing?
Give me a second. Go back.
We're supposed to draw this exactly what we see.
Step one.
Draw.
Look at your marshmallow. Now earlier we looked at mine, right? Ladies and gentlemen. Earlier we looked at mine. Now you guys are looking at your marshmallow. You guys just learned how to pick out highlights, how to pick out midtones, and how to pick out shadows, Ramon. Now it's your turn. Go ahead and place it on your paper and look at it. Right? Look at your marshmallow. Look, find its highlights. Just look at it. Find its midtones. Find its shadows. Find its cast shadows. And if there's any reflected light from your paper, make sure you find that. We're doing this so you guys can be aware of how we take this information and place it to something that's real. Go ahead and block in the shape of your marshmallow. With your pencil, block in the shape of your marshmallow. Think about all the contour drawing that we've done. Block in the shape of your marshmallow. You're looking at the outside edges, right? Do this very lightly. If you guys are having trouble, this is what I mean. If you look at the shape of the marshmallow, right? Feels like it has a circle up here, straight line down, little curve, line. That's what I'm looking at, is the shape. I'm not looking at light, I'm not looking at shadows, I'm not looking at cast shadows anymore. I'm just looking at the edge of my marshmallow. I want you guys to be able to do 3 different drawings on here, so make sure you guys give yourself enough space. If you guys did the first one too big, make sure you guys give me 2 small ones on the side.
It's a little too much light.
Yeah, I was thinking about that. That's fine. Well, let's do it. Yes.
Is that a lot of time? What you doing? Yeah.
After you guys finish it, what's the next step? Placing highlights, midtones, and shadows. Don't do your cast shadow. Now you're looking at your marshmallow. Where it's really, really light, draw really, really light. Where you see cast shadows, where you see shadows on the marshmallow, draw the marshmallow. You're not doing a cast shadow yet. You're just working on your marshmallow.
What do you mean?
It means this. First part, you knocked out the shape, right? You drew a light contour of it, right? Now, it's placing these colors in. Sorry, the shading in. You're going to start light here, and you're going to work your way over here. You're not even touching this yet. You're just working on lighting your shadow, on adding form to your shadow. You're making it look slightly real.
Color it in.
Color it in with your pencil. Try to look at it from your angle. No, I see it. I see it. It's lighter on one side. If you look at it, you have to look closer. You look here. It's kind of that shape, right? This wall here and this wall here. Okay. That's it. This side, lighter. This side, and the light coming in.